Hey, I want to take some time today to address an email that was sent to me by a viewer. Now, I am assuming they are not a regular viewer because they did not seem very fond of me. Well, I guess that could mean they are a regular viewer based on my viewers. But in this email they sent me, they said to me that the only reason and when they say me, or when they're referring to me, I assume they're using me as a representation of most gun owners, at least white gun owners. They said to me, the only reason I am pro-Second Amendment is because I like guns. I'm an overgrown toddler who likes my toys. They also said the only other reason I'm pro-Second Amendment is because I like to have those guns so I can silence voices I don't agree with, and I can bully my way through the world, forcing my opinions on others because I'm armed. They said that's the only reason that I am pro-Second Amendment. Then they also went on to inform me about a lot of things in my past I wasn't even aware of. Apparently they know me very well because they remembered stuff that I don't, like how I was neglected as a child and raped by an uncle and abused and bullied, etc. Trying to make me mad, trying to get a rise out of me. Like any of that's going to get a rise out of me, they'd at least have to let me know which uncle before I would have a chance of getting upset or not. But they just filled that email with a whole lot of accusations. But I wanted to deal with the accusation that the only reason I'm pro-Second Amendment is because I love guns. Well, I do love guns. Everyone knows I love guns. I'm not just someone who has a gun for practical reasons. I appreciate the mechanics of firearms, the artistic aspect of firearms. I appreciate everything about them. I appreciate the sense of self-reliance and, independence, etc. that they represent. I love everything about guns. I do love guns. I am a big child who loves his toys. But if that was the only reason I had, I wouldn't be pro-Second Amendment, I'd just be pro-gun. And as far as saying that I like to silence dissenting opinions, I think anyone who even watches my videos knows that's not true. I am not pro-gun because I just want to be able to bully my way around. I am a huge supporter of the First Amendment. Huge. I think it's the most important amendment. A lot of people say the Second Amendment's the most important amendment because it guarantees all the others. I think the First Amendment is the most important, and I think the Second Amendment is how we keep the First Amendment. That's why I'm pro-Second Amendment. I'm pro-Second Amendment because I want people to be able to be heard. I want people to be able to protest. I want there to be a free press. I want people to be able to assemble. I want people to be able to worship however they want. The First Amendment, to me, is the epitome of the American dream. It is what keeps us free. That's what's important to me, the First Amendment. And I don't think I have to sit up here and just blow smoke up someone's ass about how I support the Second Amendment and I support the First Amendment too, because I've shown both. Especially the First Amendment. I go places like I went to CHOP to support BLM's right to protest without being demonized unjustly, and to have people say, slow down, stop trying to shut people up, listen to what they got to say. And if you don't agree with it, then don't agree with it, but don't try to shut them up because they have a right to speak. And as long as they're not being violent, they have every right to assemble and address their grievances against the government. Once they get violent, that's a different story. But I'm not going to judge these people by the little rats that follow them around and get violent. I want them heard, even if I don't agree with them. I've made it clear I don't agree with Black Lives Matter. I don't understand their whole philosophy. I don't understand their principle. I don't understand what they're trying to accomplish because I think they're ignoring the major issues for why a lot of black people are having negative interactions with the police in this country. I think they need to focus on different things, but that's not for me to decide because I'm not a member of their organization, but it is for me to decide I don't support them as an organization because of it, but the people who get out there and believe in what they think is the principle Black Lives Matters, I want them to be heard. I'm a huge First Amendment fan. I will not be a fucking hypocrite and say, I'll send the government in and shut them up or anything like that. I also won't be a hypocrite and say, one of them acted up, so we need to clear them all out. Yeah, that'd be like saying, one person got involved in a mass shooting, so we need to take guns away from everybody. I'm not going to be that kind of fucking hypocrite. Just not going to do it. I believe in the First Amendment very strongly. I don't like religion, period. But I agree with everyone's right to exercise it. To do so as they wish, as long as they don't hurt anybody else. That's the way I feel about most things. As long as you're not hurting anybody else, fine. An inconvenience is not hurt. So let's not forget that. Like, oh, they walked down my street and it was, scary. I don't care. Sometimes being free means you're going to be scared. Sometimes being free means you're going to be inconvenienced. That's the First Amendment. But to say that I'm only Second Amendment because I like guns, that's bullshit. Everyone knows I do love guns. That means I would be pro-gun. If I was just pro-gun, I would support all these laws that target minorities to keep them from owning guns. I wouldn't support felons getting their gun rights back. I would support the laws that, target people of lower income from being able to jump through all the hoops to get guns. I would support those things. I would support background checks if I was just pro-gun. I don't support those things. I am a firm believer that the Second Amendment is for every free individual, and I'm also a firm believer that the First Amendment is a right to be exercised by every free individual, and we don't need a bunch of hypocrites trying to shut them up. We don't need a bunch of angry people trying to shout them down, although that is the right of an individual to shout someone down, but you should hear them out first before you shout them down, in my opinion. But however you want to react is up to you. Like if I see a group of people on this side screaming yes and people on this side screaming no, to me that's democracy at work. As long as it isn't the government on this side screaming no as they march over and shut them up. It's the government that doesn't have a right to interfere. Police, army, anything like that. Stay out of it. Deal with the crimes that are committed, but don't interfere with the right to assemble or the right to speak freely. That's how I feel about the First Amendment. And that's why I'm pro-gun. That's why I'm pro-Second Amendment. I'm pro-gun because I love guns. I'm pro-Second Amendment because I love freedom and I love the First Amendment. I've been to countries where there's no First Amendment and no Second Amendment. They're not places I would want to live. They're not even places I'd want to visit. So when you want to come at me saying the only reason I'm pro-Second Amendment is because I like my toys, well, you're right that I like my toys. I do. I love them. But you're coming at the wrong person. I give guns to people in need every week. Every week. I provide people with the means to defend themselves who normally wouldn't be able to because of their financial circumstances. Every week. I get out there. I go places a lot of people would consider scary. I know this is coming off of me patting myself on the back, but when someone says something about me that's not just, I'm going to set them straight. Like people who want to make shit up. Like there's people who watched my video the other night about what happened in the shop and they're like, oh, you got beat up and now I'm like, no one ever fucking touched me. I got a phone knocked out of my hand. And then the guy who did it pretty much got ran off by everybody else because after I started voicing my opinion, they took my side. But some people want to twist it into whatever they want to twist it into. But that's off topic. I am pro-Second Amendment. I am pro-gun, but I'm also pro-Second Amendment. And maybe if you woke up and realized not everybody in the world is a bully who wants to shut you up, not everyone in the world is a bully who wants to force their opinions on everybody, I always think if I'm right, most people will agree because most people know right from wrong. I don't feel the need to force my opinions on anyone else or shout anyone down unless I'm in a one-on-one argument with them. So maybe you need to open your eyes and maybe you need to pay attention to what's going on in front of you before you start attacking people that you're just pro-gun because you're a child and you want to be able to bully other people. Some of us actually believe in the American way. Some of us actually believe that it's your right to sit during the national anthem and I won't stop you. It's your right to burn a flag. And I don't think it's my right to deprive you of your rights. I might not like it. And I might even try to stop it, but it's still your right to do it. And I would never allow a policeman to stop you from doing it. That I would stand between someone burning a flag and a guy in the army or military, whatever, from stopping them from burning a flag, because that's their right to do that. And the government doesn't have a right to stop them. Now then, I might turn around and yank it away from them and say, quit being a fucking asshole. But I wouldn't let the police do it. It's like Matt Gaetz tweeted a video today where they're burning a police flag, the blue line flag, which I consider an abomination. I think it's a desecration of our American flag. I don't like when people do that. So, and a police officer runs over and sprays him with tear gas and puts it out. That's not his right. They were exercising. That's not even an American flag. To me, that's them burning a rag. So I guess you could say, well, no public fires. But other than that, you'd have to go through the process of, someone had to claim, you'd have to witness it, you'd have blah, blah, blah. But I don't like the government interfering on First Amendment rights. But now I know I'm babbling now and I'm off topic, which is normal. My viewers expect that. But don't come at me with I'm only pro Second Amendment because I'm pro gun and I like my toys and I want to be a bully. I believe strongly in the First Amendment, and that's why I believe so much in the Second Amendment. Guns, I love. But I love even more the fact that guns make it to where we can continue to speak our mind without the government stomping us out.